This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed singer, songwriter, creator, musician, she does it all, the one and only MARLIII. But before we get to our interview, here is a sneak peek at her incredible talent.
Spill the tea, swallow the leaves and follow steps toward the leader. Falls into a fever, way to be conditioned to ask for permission. What's our mission statement? Trips and falls into the pavement. Paint another narrative. The last one had you complicated. But it's not too late to change it. Do you see her? Do you believe her? She balances the earth and brightens up the universe. And she don't know her worth. Plant a tree, sing a song so solemnly, then count to 3 and 4. There's one too many reasons to see genuinely.
Well, hello, MARLIII. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Will?
MARLIII, I'm doing so much better now that we are finally connected. And I want to know, first and foremost, talk to me a little bit about the impetus behind you creating the song, Spill the Tea.
Okay, I'll spill the tea on Spill the Tea. So I write about a lot of deeper concepts of how social constructs throughout generations haven't really been what we are looking for today, and that we are looking for change and we are looking to unite together. I've really seen that, especially like in the past couple years, and we still have to keep banding together and using our creative platforms to really share that. And so I use a lot of metaphors and symbolism in my music, so I wouldn't really say just like exactly what I just said. I would use different representations, but Spill the Tea was me really realizing that I have this platform and this voice that I can play my part too and help and not be silent. And so that's where it really actually stems from. I know, like, Spill the Tea, you could like say spilling the tea as in like gossiping, but I use it I twist it up and I take it and I'm like, we need to understand our worth, that we are all amazing people and that we are loved and we should support each other. And that's actually what Spill the Tea is about.
I love it, MARLIII. I love that you took a phrase that usually has, dare I say, a negative connotation, and you made it into a phrase of one of empowerment, that you are enough. And I also love the fact that you do use these metaphors and symbols through your beautiful lyric writing, because I think it's what makes your music and songs that much more relatable, universal, and dare I say, transcendent. You know what I mean?
Thank you. That's really nice to hear that you felt that too. And because sometimes I'm like, oh, will people actually catch on to what I'm putting down here? Like, will people really know? And that's where our voices come through in our interviews, right? When we're chatting and getting to know each other and sharing our own conversations about these concepts. So I'm really happy to be here. And yeah, I really appreciate what you said, because I feel that too. Yeah.
Oh my God, no, of course. I mean, look, that's how I felt. And you know this, so not everyone is always going to understand or maybe relate to every little thing we do as artists, but what we are able to do and what you do so beautifully, MARLIII, is that you're unapologetically yourself. And I think within that authenticity, even if some of the specifics people might not get every little I dot or T cross, they are, I think, going to walk away emotionally impacted. That in a show don't tell way, you have an ability, MARLIII, to especially speak with young people I think that you're going to get a lot of naysayers in life, but sometimes the path of least resistance is to create your own path. Talk to me a little bit about your journey in doing that, because obviously you're still a very young person of the planet, but you obviously have done the work on yourself and your craft. So talk to me a bit about the journey, about you stepping into your power and making that decision.
Thank you. So my journey has been musically. I started really getting into singing and songwriting in elementary school, and guitar. I started guitar first when I was in the second grade, and I was always singing, like really into the classics like Beatles and Janis Joplin and Shakira, because my mom's from Peru, and so she was like, oh, we need you to have some spicy influences. So I was like really listening to a lot of her music too. And so when I was in like fourth, fifth grade, I started writing songs, and they weren't great because, you know, you really do have to live your life, like live a life and understand what you're here for. I was kind of like at the time writing about like my dog eating my homework. And so and I noticed that I was like, oh, my songs aren't like great. And so, but then like with all the other social expectations that I would have as a young, like Hispanic woman, I wasn't even a woman yet, and I was kind of seeing that like I was just being judged for like existing, and didn't even realize yet that I would be pansexual. I was just like kind of not really sure, like just so confused about how like love romance worked that I would just completely avoid it. So like it was very interesting growing up and like not having a clue how to navigate. And so what really helped was learning to vocalize more, but that actually needed to start with like my own mental health awareness and like understanding like my own emotions. And once I did finally start understanding that around college, I was able to be able to provide support to friends and people I love who, like, whenever they would struggle and be unsure about something, I could be like you are loved, and really tell them like you're gonna get through this, because like I'm getting through this, and life is this whole journey. But once we love ourselves and can accept ourselves, that's like when things really happen positively and we manifest the best. So once I really love myself, I was actually starting to write songs with this genuine meaning, like there was something more, and there is. And it's really cool because it's like I can really see the growth beyond what maybe other people are seeing, especially because it's like I'm the first one that actually hears the songs. So I have all these unreleased songs too, which makes me so excited to be joining FENIX, because I can have my demos as NFTs very soon. That's a plan on the roadmap for 2022, is like people can hear these songs that I'm starting with even more deep and authentic lyricism of a time. It's like a time capsule of life, right? That's what I love to see in my music and look at it as. So like Awake and I that just dropped this year is like a time capsule of who I was while I was in college. That was what I made. I wrote, recorded, produced the album, and I did it in a class. So that was like my time capsule of this is what it's like to be in college and figuring myself out. And then we got some things that are not out yet, but working on it. So it's really fun to be here now, and really.
I love it. I love it, MARLIII. I love it. I also just love the fact that, you know, you've obviously done the work on yourself to not only be like almost like a therapist for a lot of your friends, or just someone to be there as someone who's been through it and continues to be through it, because we all are constantly going through it. But the fact is that through your music, I love that there's sometimes, you know, therapy in music, not only for other people listening, but for the artists. And yeah, on top of that, I agree. I think this is a perfect time for that you're joining FENIX. We're not only for this amazing EP that's out now, Awaken I, but for like now FENIX artists and fans get to get exclusive sneak peeks of, you know, demos that you've been working on or little sneak peeks of projects coming up and the NFTs that are out there. So listen, before I ask my final question, I just want to let the audience know for more on the amazing MARLIII, you can read more about her right below this video. MARLIII, final question for you. If you could give advice to young MARLIII, or dare I say the young MARLIIs out there who are looking to break into this business or may not be wanting to break into this business and maybe just are struggling a little bit to find their voice, what advice would you give to them?
In order to find your voice, the advice I would give is to listen and to remember that what other people say is good and bad isn't necessarily good and bad. It's your choice of what you want to do in life, and you don't need to listen to everyone and be a people pleaser, right? You can break the rules. But of course, it's good to learn what people think is good and bad, because that lets you form your own opinions too. But you got to remember to think outside the box, and that'll help you be yourself and follow what you love, right? Like if you see that things are flowing naturally and positivity is manifesting from something that you're doing, that's probably a good sign to keep doing it. And if one person thinks that you should be a lawyer instead, and you're like, you don't have to listen to them. But being a lawyer is a good thing too. But everyone has their own path, and yeah. So like, yeah, just follow your heart, follow your mind, follow your soul. Let it all like, there's so many different cool things to do, and yeah, and if you ever need help, make sure to get that help, because then you'll be able to succeed in an even brighter future with the passion that you have.
MARLIII, you're incredible. You're an incredible artist, an incredible soul, an incredible human. I am so grateful that we are now connected, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Will. It's been great chatting with you.
You too.